Recording. All right. Let's come into preparation for mountain pose. Standing tall, grounding, connecting with the earth through your feet. Remember the 4 points in each foot, behind the big toe, behind the 4th and 5th toe, and then the inner and outer heel. And we want to tune up our inner observational skills so that we can perceive that the weight is evenly distributed through one foot and then dialing in the other foot and then bringing the stereo fine tuning so that you're aware of both feet. Next, tuning into our breath of life. Observing the passage of the breath in and out through our nostrils. And on the exhalation, just releasing everything in the past. And on the inhalation, becoming more present, feeling enlivened in our bodies. Expanding our awareness of our posterior body and our anterior body. Because of our dominant nature of one side being our dominant side and one arm being our dominant arm, we're a little more used to thinking of our laterality. Let's see if you can breathe all the way to the tips of your fingers in both arms. And on that exhale, letting the breath really relax. Any anxieties, no matter how subtle, you might absorb from outside stimuli or might be carrying from old patterns in your own body. Just smooth it out. Let me exhale. Feeling the energy of the earth below us. Perhaps you can take a bird's eye view so you're aware of not just standing in the room you're in, but also on the earth, on your little plot of land on the planet. And know that the whole earth, the whole globe, Mother Earth is connecting with our feet. Letting our spine lengthen up towards the heavens. So we find ourselves coming into the consciousness of mountain pose. Earth energy below us and permeating through us from below, and sky mind from our head and above. So we'll take a few more breaths in mountain pose. And being grateful for this mountain energy, we take a moment to be mindful of our unique opportunity to be humans on this planet. We get to move around. We're not stuck in one locality. And life is about movement. And illness is about stasis, or lack of breath, lack of life expression. So let's start with inhaling along the front of our bodies and exhaling out and down. So tuning into your current state of being, if you feel you need a little more energy to help you with this class, then put a little bit more acceleration into the rising of the arms. And if you feel like you just need to relax more and let go, then linger a little bit more in the exhalation phase. So on the inhale, feel your body expanding, the breath revitalizing all the cells of your body. And on the exhalation, going deeper into a state of ease. Now I'm going to invite you to step up with your feet a little further apart. And I'm going to suggest a little rotation to one side and then the middle and then the other, adding that to this. And let's pause on one side. Bringing the arms to shoulder height. And let's look further in that rotation. And see if you can soften a little further. And then we're going to keep the arms where they are, but we're going to let the head turn in the opposite direction. Letting the hands move further apart at the height of our inhalation. And then let's come back to midline and resume your windmill. And let's go to the other side. And pausing at shoulder height with the arms, lengthening through the spine. And turning your head to look forward. And then once again in that zone. And let's return the windmill motion as we come back to midline. We'll pause again at shoulder height. And let's bend at the elbows, bringing the fingers towards the joint of where our collarbone and the sternum meet. You can use your index finger and middle finger and just massage there a little bit. This is actually the joint where our arms attach to the axial skeleton. And you might be surprised to find you can breathe a little easier if you just do a little massage there. Now let's raise the elbows and bring them down. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Now we're going to let the elbows find each other and inhale along the midline and exhale out and down. And let's pause the next time the elbows are high. Let the elbows go wide. Let the fingers interface behind the back of your head. And stretch the elbows towards the wall behind you. Press your head into your palms. See if you can get just a little taller. Maintaining this conscious connection between the back of your head and your hands. We're going to exhale, dropping the left elbow and lifting the right elbow towards the midline. Coming back up. And exhaling, down, elbow right. Lifting the left elbow. And coming out. So let's repeat that 3 more times. We don't need to rush it. Fine tune it. If you have any suspicion that you're rotating rather than doing pure side bending, you can come all the way up against the wall so that you get that feedback that you're definitely just side bending. And let's release the hands down to our sides. We'll come a little bit away from the wall. We're going to take the left arm up towards the sky. And we're going to follow with our inner eyes as the right arm descends down the right thigh. And when you get as far as you comfortably can in that right side bending, consciously draw the 2 hands away from each other. And just a little fine tuning. Keep the weight even between both feet. That softens the low back. And we'll keep the left hand high as we come out of that side bending. Let's lower the left arm. Inhaling, right arm up. Keep long and exhale to the other side. Keeping the right hand high as we come out of the side bending. Turn the right hand out and come down. We're going to visit each side again, and we're going to stay in the side bending for 2 or 3 breaths. And coming back up, turning the palm out, bringing it down. Other right arm lifting on the inhale, and exploring the left side bending. And coming back up, and lowering that arm. We're going to do the third and final modification of the side bending. That's when the arm stays with the ear. So the left arm is raised, right arm descends, and the upper arm moves into this upper quadrant. And feel the lengthening on both sides of your body. We're not caving in on the right to gain the left. One more breath. And coming up, lowering that hand. Looks good. Right arm up, staying with the head, exhaling to the left. And inhaling up, and take the arm down. We can come a little closer together with our feet, and it's time to do a little bounce. A little stimulation to the long bones of the body. Help them remember to continue to renew their bone density. All right. Now we'll stand a little further apart. And we're going to turn the right foot so the heel is aligned with the middle of the arch of our left foot. And the right foot is parallel to the long axis of the mat. And we're going to rotate the hips towards the right foot and turn the left heel a little bit more away from you. So you feel that your hips are pretty much square in front of you. This is warrior one. Some people ask, why is it called a warrior pose if nonviolence is such a key element of yoga? But the warrior aspect is about controlling the rambling mind and developing concentration skills. So what we're going to do now is let the forward knee bend. And then we're going to let the arms rise up parallel to each other. We're going to see if we can find the stillness and that silver cord in the midline of our body. Let's take the arms down, straighten the forward leg, rotate towards the midline. And now we're going to reposition the left foot, right heel further back than the ball. The hips rotated to the left, so squared off towards the wall we're facing. Your legs are far enough apart that when you start to bend the knee, there's some room for the knee to move towards the toes. And then we're going to raise the arms again. If you can lower the body a little bit more. And then we're going to come up, straight forward leg, lower the arms, and rotate forward again. Let's shake out the legs, a little walking in place. Good. All right. So that's warrior 1. Now warrior 2, we stand a little further apart. We're going to keep the hips facing forward. We're going to take the arms shoulder height, turn the right foot out like we did before, turn the left heel back. But now you can see we're not rotated like we did in warrior 1. We're staying forward. We'll continue to look forward and start to bend the right leg at the knee. And then turn to look over your right arm. Looking down, your knee should be right over your ankle. And if you feel a little instability in the knee, imagine or reconnect with the magnetic, activate the magnetic connection between the two inner thighs. See if you can lower your whole body a little more. And let's rise up and relax your arms. Keep the wide stance. We'll shrug the shoulders and let them go. Shrug and let them go. Third time's the charm. And just take a moment to appreciate how your body's cooperating, getting into the energy moving. So now we like to honor each half of our body. So when we do it to one side, we do it to the other. So turn the left foot so it's running parallel to the long surface of the mat you're standing on. Turn the right heel back so it's further than the ball of the feet. The hips should be equally distant from the nearest wall in front of you. If your left foot is not lined up with the middle of your right arch, then you probably won't feel even. You can adjust the back, the right foot, so you feel that evenness. Now we're going to raise the arms. We're going to continue to look forward initially as we bend the left leg at the knee. There's a movement to the left with your body. Then we're going to look at the left hand, Smiling with your eyes. You can look down, see how your knee is relative to the foot. Want it right over it. Add the traction between the two inner thighs to give you much more strength in the core, and see if you can lower a little more. And up we come. Turn the head forward. Release the arms. Bring the hands to the front of your thighs. Keeping the back straight. Push the buttocks away. Bring the hands to your knees. Just let the back of your legs stretch nicely. Decompressing your lumbars. Letting your breath become even. So we're not drawing the chin into the chest quite yet because we're lengthening the spine rather than rounding the spine. Let's come back up, sliding the hands along the front of the legs. We're going to turn the right foot out again. The left heel back in that warrior two stance. Turn to the right with your eyes. Take the arms up to shoulder height. We're going to turn the right palm up towards the sky. We're going to bend the right leg at the knee. This is similar to what we did last time. Now we're going into the lunar phase. We're going to start to backward bend, letting the left hand find the back of your left thigh. Let the right arm reach all the way up towards the ceiling, but look at the palm of your hand with your eyes. You can feel the difference in the lunar phase compared to the more solar phase in the pure warrior two. We'll bring the arms back up evenly. We're going to turn the arms down, pivot in the other direction. Try with your feet another inch or two apart. Bring the arms up. We now turn the left palm up, the right palm stays down. We drop into the bent left leg, and then pivot back. Right hand finding the back of the right thigh. Eyes looking into your palm. Let's come back to even shoulders from the floor. Straighten the leg, look forward. Bring the hands to the thighs and forward, straight back one more time. Now let your head look down towards your feet. See the space between your 2 feet. And now let your arms move towards the midline between those 2 feet. Chin is tucked. You can bend the knees a little if you like and lower your buttocks until your fingertips can find the floor. Then try to straighten the legs again, keeping the head low. And bending the knees, letting the buttocks drop lower. letting the chin lift up. And alternate a couple more times, straightening the legs, dropping the chin towards the chest. Bending the knees, lowering the buttocks, and lifting the chin. And once again. Bending the knees, lowering the seat, raising the chin. One last time, straightening the legs. Just let gravity, let your upper body and arms bend forward. You can actually bend your arms and grab hold by your elbows, letting the weight of your arms lower your shoulders. Now try to bring your left elbow towards your left knee with a little rotation. Come back to midline. Rotate your right elbow towards your right knee. Once again to the midline. Letting gravity soften you further towards the floor. Let's go once again towards the left knee with your left elbow. And let's breathe there for 2 breaths. Really letting go on the exhale. Coming back to midline. And to the right knee with the right elbow. These 2 breaths. Letting gravity do the work. All you have to do is say yes. Coming back midline. We're going to take these arms, straighten them, and stretch through past our knees. Pressing your elbows towards your thighs and engaging the 2 inner thighs towards each other. Maintain that alignment. Let your hands swing down and up. All the way up. Letting your arms stretch back near or behind your ears. So we're not stretching the head forward, but we're rotating those shoulders so the arms can go past our ears. Let's slowly bring the hands down to the middle of our chest. And we're going to stretch those wrists that tighten up a lot with our electronic toys and tools that we use all the time nowadays. So pressing the palms into each other, lengthening the fingers towards the sky. Let's try to take the hands towards your right armpit. Stretch them up. And then over at 12 o'clock, start coming around towards the left axilla and back in the center of the chest. Let's try going in the opposite direction. And we'll alternate again. Switching after each circle. Seeing how your shoulders and arms are lengthening and loosening. So now let's add a little rotation of the upper body. So as you go to the right, rotate and circle. And come back to the midline. And to the left, rotating up, around, and midline. Nice. Take the hands out wide and bring them to your buttocks. Trying to draw the elbows towards each other. Backward bend. We're not hyperextending the chin, softening the back of your head. And breathing. Feeling the weight evenly through the 4 points of each foot. Tune in to the magnetism between the two inner thighs. See if you can backward bend a little further. And coming up, take the arms out to shoulder height and pause. Let your right ear descend towards the top of your right shoulder. Try to relax there. Gently coming back to midline. Exhaling to the left. Relaxing and breathing. And coming back to midline, turn the palms down. We're going to come down to the floor now. So it's good to have a blanket to help cushion your knees. And we're going to see if we can kneel. So you may want to have a block or a couch pillow or something. You position that between your ankles to support your tailbone. Let's drop the chin into the chest. Now let your shoulder blades move away from your hips while the head stays tucked. Drawing the chin past the right collarbone towards the right shoulder with your chin. And then we're going to come like a pendulum back over the sternum and continuing over to the other side. Kind of like a swing. You'll feel when it's time to start in the opposite direction. As you reach as far as you comfortably can go in the rotation. So here I don't want you to focus so much on how far you can go, but on feeling the stretch and then the impulse to start moving in the opposite direction. Turn up your perception of that. In that zone, you might feel towards the end of the rotation that you want to move your chin slightly in one direction or the other. Maybe to add a little more rotation or to add a little side bending. Then you feel when you've gotten to the feather edge, and then the energy shifts in the opposite direction. Now, as if we were changing the lens in a microscope, we're going to just pause towards the end of a rotation. Try just moving your head gently up and down, not necessarily a large amount, just exploring a few extra degrees of movement at the end of the rotation. Then we'll have the impulse to start moving in the opposite direction. You feel a little momentum when you go past the midline. Following it out to the little end, and then exploring again, a little nodding. Little exploration in further opening. And we'll visit each side one more time. And we'll come back to the chin tucked into the chest. We'll take the hands on the outside of our legs and stretch them past our hips, along the floor as far as we can move them behind us, with the chin still tucked. And then again, allow this motion to start moving in the opposite direction, moving past the hips, the knees, and coming forward and up towards the ceiling. Chin is still tucked in. And reverse again. Swooping up and reverse. One more time. And we'll let the hands pause by the heels if you're kneeling. And let's come off our heels, come into a cross-legged position. Hands on the knees. If you want your knees closer to the ground, raise the sacrum. Allow the breath to go to any area that's still talking to you. When you get at the end of your inhalation, you gather up any inflammation that's still there and then sweep it out on the exhalation. So now let's let the chin lift high towards the ceiling. Let your jaw, lower jaw, stretch upward, stretching the front of your throat. Take a big breath in. And when you're ready to exhale, let the mouth open and let the tongue stretch out. This is called the lion breath. So you may not feel like a dragon, but you can let the smoke out. Two more times. Good. Now let's bring the feet in front of you. So the bottoms of the feet find each other. And we're going to flap our wings. Let's give it a little more range of motion. Letting the shoulders relax, the arms relax, hips, knees, ankles. And let the activity come to a simmer. Stretch the right leg all the way out and bring the left heel in towards your groin. With the left hand, bring that heel towards your navel. Let it stretch towards the knee or beyond in front, and then strike the gong of your belly. And let's pause when the heel is near your belly, turning the foot up a little more versus down towards the floor. And you can use both hands if you want. But now we're going to try to lift it along the midline. Whether that's 2 inches or 2 feet, every day can be different. If your big toe can find your chin. Now we're going to let the right hand rest on the thigh. We're going to take the leg out in front and then out to the side on your left. And then bring it back in towards the groin and swoop it out again. Now, depending upon how long your arms are relative to the length of your legs, you may not be able to straighten the leg. You're opening up the hip and stretching out the hamstrings where they attach to your knees. Once again. And now we're going to bring that foot into the nook of the right arm. And the right hand grabs hold of that left calf. We take the left arm out to the side and wrap it under that knee. We're rocking the baby. Pausing, just try to hug the leg closer to your front. And we'll remove the left arm. And we'll keep the right arm under the foot, bringing them down on top of the right thigh. So if you reintroduce your left hand on that knee, Really preparing for sitting in lotus pose. You slip the right arm away, turn the right foot out, and see if you can bring the right foot under your left thigh. You're in half lotus. If it's too much, just have it in front, and that's half tailor pose. So now stretch them both out, shake them out. We're going to take the right foot into the groin, knee wide. We're going to grab hold of it, drawing the heel in towards the navel and belly button. Take it out along the straight leg and bring it back. Coming back in towards the navel, you can introduce both hands. Instead of having the foot parallel or drawn towards the floor, turn it up. And then we're going to carry it along the midline, just as far as you can. Now we're going to bring the right foot into the nook of the left arm. Take that left hand and grab hold of the calf. Bring the right arm out and wrap around the knee. If you can interlace your fingers, that's good. Rock the baby. There's a tendency to slouch, so sitting on a block, it helps you keep the shoulders high. One side's easier usually than the other. Now we're going to release the right arm. Let the left arm and the right foot come down onto your thigh. Work the knee gently. Then you can turn the left foot out, bending the left leg, placing the left heel under your right knee. So if it's too much, you just keep the left foot in front of your right knee. If it feels good, you can take one finger and lift the left foot on top of the right knee, and you're in full lotus. Just be in tailor pose, which is nestled in. Or half lotus, or full lotus. And we're gonna just do a little awareness of breathing again, like we started. I'm going to introduce the triangle breath. an equilateral triangle. The inhalation and exhalation and holding of the breath after the inhalation will be of the same duration. So count to yourself the next time you exhale. And let's say that's a count of 5. Then you're going to inhale 5. We're going to hold for a count of 5. And we're going to exhale for a count of 5. Inhale. Hold. And exhale. Again, inhaling. Hold. And exhale. Inhaling. Holding. And exhale. Continue on your own for a few more breaths. And one more repetition. And let your breath come back to a normal breath. Relax and stretch out your legs. We're going to go into the final relaxation on our backs, head supported with a little cushion. You want something under your knees. Have something, you can put that there. Now all the efforting is completed for the night. It's the time to replenish. Go ahead and lie back down. Letting your feet turn out. Letting your palms turn up. Tuning into your breath. We can take this opportunity to do a little inventory of the body from the tips of our toes to the top of our head. And what are we doing when we're inventorying? We're seeing if there's anything left that needs a little more oxygen or needs a little more energy, or perhaps needs to clear out, to let go, to release, in which case you would then focus on the exhalation, allowing that tension or that inflammation to just dissipate. as if you were doing an inventory from a vantage point inside your body. Perhaps as if you were putting your house to sleep for the night and you go into each room and make sure the lights are off, the windows are closed. As we age, sometimes our joints seem to collect a little inflammation. So that can be a little bit like opening up the closet in the room and airing it out. Moving out of the room into the hallway, into the next room. Releasing your ankles, your knees, your hips. Let your hips support your pelvis completely. Allow the breath to be able to reach down and to nourish any organs contained within your pelvis. Observing the rise and fall of the abdomen. Letting the earth support your spine completely. Moving up your spine until you feel your shoulder blades supporting the upper body. Relaxing your shoulders, your elbows, and your wrists, and the finger joints. And if you need to, you can shake out your hands. And relax your arms. You can perceive the rhythmic opening of your chest with the movement of your ribs as you breathe. We're going to allow the head to nod slightly to one side. Providing an opportunity for any residual tension in the neck to dissipate. Massaging the scalp lightly as you bring the head back to the midline. Exploring the other side. Finding your way back to midline, supporting your head by the earth. And relax your jaw. Let your eyes gently soften in the orbits of your skull. The eyes like antennas for the brain, retrieving a little bit more interior zone of your being. Letting your exhale release any residual tension in your forehead. Take a few moments just to participate in this state of repose, of calm, present relaxation. Allow yourself another moment or two to feel this state of ease that you've been able to achieve or open up to. And now we'll let our awareness shift a little more to the passage of the breath in and out through our nostrils. And we'll begin to prepare for a little movement again, coming back into our daily lives. We'll bend the legs at the knees and let's draw both of the thighs in towards our chest, letting the hands grab hold of our knees, just relaxing the lower back into the floor. Let's let our eyes softly open, resisting the urge to focus on any particular object, keeping a soft glance. You can let both knees go halfway towards the floor on the left, relaxing those paraspinal muscles. Rolling through the midline, going halfway to the right. Just rocking a couple times from side to side. And now from midline, let's go all the way to the right, letting the left shoulder come with it. Give yourself a moment to acknowledge how your body feels, how your heart feels, how your mind is. When you're ready, using your arms and hands, let's come back up to a final seated position. And we'll seal our efforts. Namaste. If you would like to make any feedback or discuss anything, now's the time to unmute yourselves.
Very peaceful.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Erskine. That was wonderful.
Remember, you can reclaim this just by thinking of it.
Oh.
See you next week.
Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Of the elections there. They've been doing mail-in balloting for a very long time. One of the biggest